obviously diet is something that is hard to avoid because we're all eating multiple times a day.
Yep.
How important is it in ME, chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia?
I think it's fundamental. It's not the answer to everything by a long way, but it's absolutely fundamental, and it's the basic building block that we're going to use and work with right from the very start. At every consultation, we're always going to ask our clients, what have you eaten for breakfast yesterday, lunch, dinner? Because we're constantly trying to strive to get it right for that person as an individual. When someone's well and leaves us and we're not doing any more testing, we're not doing any more supplements, we leave them with a diet that they can eat for life that's going to keep them healthy. That's the plan.
Now, I know that from my experience, on one hand, it became obvious that diet was important, partly because, of course, it's from our food that we metabolize our energy, therefore what you put in is going to have an impact. And then it became quickly unbelievably confusing. And you only have to go to a bookshop and look in the nutrition or diet section, and you will literally see contradictions as extreme as what you currently see in Western politics, in a sense.
Yes.
That literally, from people saying that the thing that's completely changed their entire life is the diet everyone should be on is completely raw food. So at the other end of the spectrum, people saying that you should only really be eating a lot of high quality animal protein. I mean, that's obviously the two polarized extremes. How do people navigate through that extremely confusing narrative?
Yeah, and I think on top you've got that, and on top of that you've also got whatever keeps hitting the press as to fat's bad for you, fat's good for you, animal fat's bad for you, animal fat's good for you, vegetable fat's good for you, vegetable fat's bad for you. Cutting through all of that as well does make it very complex. Yeah. The good news is that there are some basic rules that we will always fall back to. And then after that, it's about us working with the individual to find what's right for them. Now, very interestingly, what we find is there's a different diet for each person that we work with, but also the same person might need a different diet depending on what stage of their recovery they are. And ultimately, when they're well, we want them on a sort of fairly standard diet, what we could call a healthy diet. It might not be standard actually to what most people are eating, but what we would consider healthy that people can eat for life.
Like you should be able to go to any restaurant, and we don't include McDonald's in the restaurant, but any good quality restaurant, and they should be able to order most things off the menu. And
ultimately, that's where we want to get people. And as much as possible, we're always working with people to establish diets that work within their lifestyle as well. That's a really important fact. You get quite a lot of diets that can seem quite extreme. And they might be very good and very healthy, but they're completely impractical for someone who's got chronic fatigue and ME or fibromyalgia. They perhaps can't stand for very long, or they haven't got the strength to do the chopping or whatever it is. So we have to take that into account as well when we're discussing diets with people.